She's an author, she's a lawyer, and she's back in the spotlight. I'm Allison Podworski, and I sat down with Marcia Clark. Find out what she thinks of the recent OJ shows and what she's up to now. Hi there, everyone. Welcome. I'm Allison Podworski. Thank you so much for joining us, Marcia.
My pleasure.
I know you are completely sleep deprived. You've been on the East Coast for a couple of days now, and you're heading back, so I really appreciate it.
Sure.
You've been busy. You've been very, very busy. You have a new book out, Blood Defense, and you've been kind of thrown back in the spotlight recently with the OJ series that was out. What's it like to be back out in the public eye?
Well, I mean, it's been kind of hectic actually, but pretty cool. It's been pretty nice because the series, you know, the television miniseries was really good. So I get to talk about something that had amazing performances. That's always nice.
I know that when they called you and told you they were going to be doing this, you said you really didn't even want to watch it because, I mean, not only are you reliving what had happened, but who knows how accurate it's going to be and how accurate is it?
Well, they got the big issues right for sure. The role that race played in the case, excuse me, and so the surprise factor for me was that they pulled out the sexism in the case. Never thought anybody was going to talk about that. So. Yeah.
Back 20 years ago, it wasn't. I mean, you obviously experienced it firsthand, and it wasn't talked about.
Right.
And so it's something new that I think not only people who followed the case 20 years ago, but a whole new generation saw, you know, what happened in that courtroom, what happened outside the courtroom, and people are finally talking about it.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. And it has really generated a lot of conversations. And just last night, I spoke to a group of about 200 women lawyers, and no men allowed. And it was an amazing experience because, you know, when you have that situation, women are more forthcoming. They're not worried about, sorry, what the men think. So we had a really great time. It was a wonderful bonding experience, and I think it would not have happened. They would not even thought of having me to speak to them in that situation and a women-only situation had it not been for the series and the way it addressed sexism.
I mean, the legal profession is still, you know, a male-dominated profession in certain roles. So what advice did you give them?
Well, really, I talked about not allowing sexism or gendered behavior to squash them, to try to make them change or make themselves smaller or somehow try to appease because of it. Because number one, it won't work, won't make anything any better, and they'll just lose themselves. And so the process that has to happen is for women to keep taking their position and stay strong and don't change and don't start to curtsy and, you know, and hope that, and, you know, in order to make things better, I also said we have to support one another. We really need to look at it as when a woman succeeds, it doesn't mean it's less for you. You know, it means somebody who's now in a position of power who can help other women, and they should, you know, increase the networking and increase the ways in which we look out for one another.
That's great. That's exactly what you're doing here tonight.
Yeah.
So that's great. Yeah. Back to the show, I mean, how odd was it to turn on the TV and see somebody portraying you? I mean, and I know that you said she did a really good job, especially evoking the emotions that you went through, but it had to be.
Sarah Paul, you know, I have to tell you, I've been a fan of Sarah Paulson's for many years, so I've always thought she's amazing. And so when I heard she was going to play me, I knew that this was going to be a phenomenal job, and it really, really was. Nuanced and empathic and deep and just really, it was amazing, phenomenal performance. It was really hard, you know, because she was so good, she made me relive everything. And as I remembered how this felt and how that felt, because she really showed you so well what it felt like to be a media punching bag, basically. Yeah, it was it. But it was all a little out of body, too, so I would never watch it alone because I was, you know, oh, how's this going to feel? So my friends would always be around me when we were watching. And so every once in a while she'd do something, some mannerism, and I'd turn and I'd go, do I do that? Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, she's right.
Wow.
It was funny.
It's amazing. There's another show that's coming out. I think it's coming out in June on ESPN. And there's a part in it that not a lot of people know. Talk to me about what the defense comes out and talks about with the pictures in the house and what happened when you were walking with the jury through the house.
So we were doing a jury, what we call a walkthrough. This happens, you know, It happens in criminal cases, not all the time, but shall I start over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be better. It's a jury. It was a jury walkthrough, which happens in criminal cases occasionally. That you want the jury to see the crime scene. So I wanted them to see the scene at Bundy to let them see how small it was, what a small area that Ron was basically trapped in that area. I believe, he went to Nicole's rescue to help her, and then Simpson came right at him with the knife. He had literally nowhere to move. He was caged in. I wanted them to see that. In response, the defense said, well, we want them to see Rockingham. We want them to see the defendant's house. And the judge let them actually go inside the house, though I did not believe there was anything relevant for them to see there. But he let them anyway. So on that day, the lawyers walked through Rockingham first to see what it looked like. And they had changed everything. Everything. They had changed all the photographs. They had changed all the photographs in his bedroom. They had even altered actually things that were important to the proof of the crime, which nobody knows. Access to the side yard where the glove was found. They changed that too. I went back out, and what had been on the walls before were pictures of him with all these white CEOs and heads of companies, all white, not one black face to be seen, and a picture of him and Nicole and the kids in Aspen. And all of that was gone. Completely gone. In his bedroom, and I mean, it was all replaced, I'm sorry. All of that was gone, and it was replaced with all of his family members. His mother, his sister, all black faces, suddenly, all black faces. A Norman Rockwell picture of Brown versus Board of Education that I later learned came from Johnny Cochran's office. Yeah. And then into his bedroom, there used to be a poster-sized picture of Paula Barbieri. Not wearing very much. Now, they had taken that down, that was gone, and there was a framed picture of his mother by the nightstand and the Holy Bible. It was completely changed. I went outside and I told the judge, I want to go on the record to object. And I actually had the detectives testify there on the front lawn of Rockingham to say, they've changed everything. I said, this is now irrelevant. This now makes no difference. This has nothing to do with the case anymore. This is not how the place looked, and I object to the walkthrough. The judge said, overruled. I'll just tell the jurors they don't have to look at the walls.
Wow.
It's a great ruling. Another great ruling.
Well, yeah, I don't think a lot of people knew that happened at all.
Can I tell you more about it?
Yeah,
one more thing?
Absolutely.
Just so you know?
Yeah.
Another thing nobody knows about that is the judge asked Johnny Cochran, what's up with that? Did you change the pictures? What have you done? Johnny said, I wasn't here, actually, I don't know. Carl Douglas will have to tell you about that, another member of the team. Carl Douglas then said, well, I wasn't here either. I'm really not sure how that happened or who did that. They danced all around it. We later found out, as you'll see in 30 for 30, the series you're talking about, he openly admits and proud of doing it. Proud of doing it. They went in with a team of people and deliberately scrubbed the house of everything that was really relevant to Simpson's life and turned it all different, made it all completely a different scene.
Wow. Well, people have to tune in and see more on that. But
yeah.
That's extremely interesting. Let's talk about your book. So
yeah.
You actually, a lot of people don't know that you started off in the defense area, and then you went over to the DA's office, and your books mainly have been on the prosecutor side, but this book, Blood Defense, comes as from the defending side. Talk to us, what can readers expect in this book?
So, yeah, I started out as a criminal defense lawyer, and I did that for a number of years before I went to the prosecutor's office. And it's a completely different mindset, and I really wanted to show that part, that different point of view, because it's completely the opposite of the prosecution. Prosecution has an ethical duty not just to convict, but to make sure it's a fair trial, and that the defendant gets a fair trial. The defense does not have that obligation. All the defense has to worry about is taking care of the client and to raise a reasonable doubt. They don't even have to prove anything. So it's a whole different mindset. I wanted to attack the stories with that mindset because it gives you a lot more latitude. And Samantha Brinkman, our lead, is a criminal defense lawyer she's had a traumatic past, rather a tortured childhood, and she's a tough, gutsy survivor who's now a little twisted, or a lot twisted. has a different view of justice, but she goes the whole 9 yards for her clients, that's for sure.
She doesn't really, she likes to try and bend the rules. Like she tries to.
Oh, she just ignores them.
Just kind of, and I know she used social media. I know like you kind of brought that in to try and do what she could. So.
Well, here's the thing. We live in an age when people Twitter, Snapchat, whatever. I wanted to show our current world. So she's trying to drum up business for her fledgling practice. And so she does the cable news circuit. She's one of those talking heads. So I show her tweeting that she's going to be on Crime Justice Live, watch me now, try to get her name out there, And then she ultimately, when she has the case that is the central case in blood defense, show her spinning the media because the story, the case she picks up is tough on her client. In blood defense, there's a celebrity murder case involving an actress who's just starting to make a comeback and her roommate, and they're murdered. And the suspect is a veteran police detective who the public sentiment turns against him immediately because this actress is beloved. So Sam's got her work cut out for her when she takes this case. She herself doesn't particularly care for cops, so that's also a problem for her. But the first thing she has to do is start spinning public opinion to try and get people to realize that, don't hate him, don't rush to judgment.
It's interesting because do you have any sort of, is there any Marcia in her? Because you would think that when you're writing, there has to be, obviously not the rule breaker, but is there any part of you in her character at all?
For sure. There has to be. Someone once told me a long time ago that authors put a piece of themselves in every character. Now, having written my 5th novel, it's absolutely true. It's absolutely, whether you want to or not. I mean, not even consciously so, but I don't think you can avoid it. So I'm definitely in Samantha. There's no question about it. And I'm in some of the other characters too, the bad guys too. But my life experiences also. I mean, I talk in there about, there are pieces of cases that I've had and situations I've been through that are incorporated, for sure.
Well, when people get done reading this book, they can just wait a couple more months because you have another book coming out in the fall.
Right.
And can you give us a little
taste
of that?
A little one. If I give a big one, I'm in big trouble, so don't tell the publisher. But it's called Moral Defense. It comes out in November. It's Samantha Brinkman again. In that book, a lot of the threads you see in Blood Defense get pulled through, and the characters recur. So it probably is a really good idea to read Blood Defense first because even though you can catch up in Moral Defense, it'll be more satisfying because you'll remember the characters, hopefully, from Blood Defense and what the situations were, and we play out the consequences of some of the things Sam does in Blood Defense.
Interesting. When does that come out?
November.
November. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to definitely talk to you when that comes out again.
Sounds good.
So what's next? I mean, another book? Anything else?
Well, after Moral Defense, I'm working on book 3 in the Samantha Brinkman series right now. People are discussing the possibility of a television series. So that's fun. We'll see.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining
My pleasure.
us. I know you're extremely busy, so thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to follow us for all of the up-to-date interviews on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and our website, Allison May PR. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, we'll be sitting down with the co-founder of Apple, Steve Wozniak. That's it for today. We'll see you soon.